Hello and welcome to Warcraft Daily for today, the 16th of October 2013. So in today's news we have Flexwing 4, a price reduction, sort of, for World of Warcraft, and some stuff about the new dampening mechanic in PvP. And then finally we rounded off with some interesting stuff about Flex. So yes, Flexwing 4, well, you can finally kill Garrosh. This includes Siegecrafter Blackfuse, the Paragons of the Klaxi, which have got pretty much the most frightening dungeon journal you've ever seen, and then Garrosh himself. So I'm not really sure what these are like for balance or difficulty or anything like that. However, I don't know, I suppose if you're like the intended level, it should be a reasonable challenge, and that's pretty great. In terms of rewards, it's all the usual stuff, but the interesting thing is that you will get the heirloom weapons from Garrosh. Now in flexible difficulty, they are item level 548, but of course they'll scale up as you level your way up to 100 in the next expansion, and they're pretty cool. They share models with the High Warlord gear. I think that perhaps in one or two instances they could be slightly higher res, because some of them do actually look pretty decent, and from looking at the old model viewer versions of the High Warlord stuff, some of it looks really crappy just because of low poly and stuff like that. So yeah, Flex should be good. I won't have any guides up for Flex, I'm quite sure. We're still working on Thok the Bloodthirsty, so we haven't got Siegecrafter down. The best I can do, and probably it'll be the stuff in the background, is I have killed Blackfuse before on the PTR. So yeah, Flex should be fun. I don't know, just out of curiosity, are there many people like around the, I mean, when I say around, I mean like here in the video, that do Flex and that are like this far progressed? Because that's quite far progression wise, especially if you're rolling a group that's a bit more kind of casual with the gear and stuff like that. So it's impressive. But yeah, interesting stuff. Anyway, let's talk about the other thing that happened, and I saw this on Twitter last night. From Blizzard themselves, and Warcraft is now slightly, well, the Battlechest has been expanded to include Cataclysm. And I think this is great. It pretty much means you are getting more game for your money when you buy in initially, and it also makes the barrier to entry for people money-wise a lot lower. So yeah, it's pretty good. Honestly, I think the World of Warcraft, it should just be one package and include all previous expansions, because at the end of the day, Blizzard are not hedging their bets and making ridiculous amounts of money off boxed sales of this game. They're making their money off the subscription fee. Ultimately, you're worth more to them as a long-term player than you are as someone who just buys the box and leaves. So I'd say maybe $20, $25, you just buy, I'd say no, $20, you buy World of Warcraft, you get a month free. I think that's the best way to do it. It includes every expansion, including the most recent one. I think that'll be a great way to grow the game, because it means it's much easier to get in. It's a bit shit when you download the free trial, and then you realize, oh, I need to buy this, and I need to buy this, and I need to buy this. Now, at least all you need to do now is the Battlechest and then the current expansion, and I suppose it's a pretty good model, but I still just don't really think it's the best way they could do it. They could be way more business savvy and just like let people get the full experience for $20. Hell, I would think that if they just took away the box sales and it was just a subscription fee, I'd be very interested. I'd assume there's probably still going to be a lot of people who wouldn't buy it based on the subscription fee issue, but perhaps by lowering that initial barrier to entry, a lot of people would be enticed in. It's hard to know. So anyway, let's move on to another thing, and it's the dampening mechanic in what are they called? Arenas, yes. So a whole bunch of people have been a little bit worried about stealth teams, because what could happen is the stealth teams could wait until, say, 15 minutes when dampening is stacked in the other team, meaning that they have less healing received, which would make it for the stealth team, it would make them really easy to kill the other people and win the match. So that would require them to grab Shadow Sight orbs as much as possible, which would be tricky, but is possible, particularly with mechanics like Vanish. So they're not really sure if it would be a problem that's that big, because it would require quite a lot of skill and a lot of luck to pull off. But it does seem like a little bit of a concern in that they could be promoting that kind of behavior. So what's going to happen is that when the dampening change goes in, they'll also be changing the Shadow Sight debuff to prevent players who pick up the orbs from using stealth mechanics while it's active, which seems fair enough, and that includes things like Vanish and Shadow Meld. It's nice to see that they're thinking this feature through quite a lot before they put it in, and it's definitely a better version of the Crowd Chooses You, which seemed very clunky and just screwed up people's playstyles, which was not very nice. So another thing is Flex, and some people have essentially worked out that there are specific breakpoints in the mechanics of flexible bosses, and when I say that I mean with a certain composition or a certain number of people, and it's the sort of thing that's not really consistent from boss to boss, so there's no magic number, but, well, on a boss to boss basis you can min-max it. Now ultimately, if you're trying to min-max flex by not inviting more people or something like that, then, well, Blizzard think, they said themselves, that you're overthinking it. I think, yeah, you're overthinking it, and honestly, if you're the kind of person who's doing that, why the hell aren't you raiding normals? Honestly. Like, it just doesn't make any sense min-maxing in that way in a flex. So, yeah, I don't think it's as much of a problem that this can happen in flex, because the flex gear isn't ultra amazing, you know, sort of thing that would break game balance. It's not like people can cheese to an absurd item level. So I think flex is really working out perfectly well for its intended target audience. And that whole thing about min-maxing, there were some people who were saying that they should implement this to normals and heroics, and I didn't think it would be a good idea because of the way mechanics would work and how they're balanced and that sort of thing. And I think this is proof that I was kind of right, because this sort of thing could happen in a normal and it would really break up the endgame balance. That would be akin, I suppose, to running some sort of weird arena team or rated battleground group in a way that like win trades or loopholes through getting more. Do you remember that loophole where people were getting an inflated cap, or not cap, an inflated rating? It happened about 2 weeks ago, but it seems like they have that all fixed now. So that is pretty much it as far as the news goes. Now, in other things today, I will put up my Darkshire video because, well, it's time to do that now. It's going to be the lore series of Darkshire. I'm actually very happy with how the video turned out. It felt pretty good, enjoyed recording it, and I think it was edited together in a pretty decent way. Another nice thing is I got to use my new leveling UI, which is very minimalistic. I'm exploring how to make it even more minimalistic, but for now it should do. Anyway, that's it for the show. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.